Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing better today than I have been, so we're good.
Hey, that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I was finding my right notebook.
Oh, you're good.
All right. So, where do you want to start today?
Well, I don't know if you got it or not. I did send you my intake form this morning.
I
The
did see
last
it.
few days, I have not even got out of bed, let alone like looked at anything on my phone. So,
Okay.
um, but so I have discovered about myself, and looking back, I can see that it's a very nice pattern. That I will start something, especially a program like this, and then I'll learn something and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and it like benefits what I'm doing, and then I just stop with the rest of the program.
Okay.
And so um, I would really prefer to get the most out of this program and do the whole thing, but
Yes.
I'm kind of at that point where like I stopped. Like we had our last phone call, I started implementing a little bit of things, like I got a little bit of success and I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, and then fell off the bandwagon and haven't done anything.
Okay.
So
So tell me kind of what the thoughts were when you started to get off the bandwagon.
um so I think some of it is like, oh, that's you, like you've had some success, like let's just stick with that, like we're doing good here, like we've made progress, like it's all good. Excuse me. um and so I think some of that stems from a fear of being successful, like
Okay.
going too far being successful. And the um I think there's a program there that says that success means that there's separation from the people around me.
Okay.
um, and I think that's a big one. um and also just that like things have to be done in a specific way. Like in my head, I have this idea of, okay, you go on to the next module, like you sit down, you listen to that module, and it takes the whole hour or whatever, and you write out your notes, and then this is what you do, and this is how you do it. And if I can't do it that way, then I just don't do it.
Okay. Okay. So, with the fear of being successful, you said, like, kind of a meaning you've given success is that success will separate from you from people you care about.
Mhm.
What would you rather success mean?
Um, that I think we talked about this last time, actually. I think I would rather success mean that I have boundaries in place that allow me to be successful and still have good relationships with the people I care about.
Okay. Awesome. Um, does that, how does that feel better to you than success means I don't get to associate with these people I care about?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a decision right here. You get to decide, okay, you get to decide success means to me that I have boundaries in place to be around the people I care about.
Okay.
Do you feel unsafe at all? Like with success, is it unsafe to you?
Um, yes.
Okay.
And that stems from like growing up, the meaning I always gave success was that if I was successful, that meant that people had more expectations. And so it was easier to not live up to them.
So you're afraid of letting people down. Okay. So with that, let me gather my thoughts. Do you feel like you're constantly letting people down?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So, but do you feel like you don't put forth all your effort when you're with people to protect yourself from that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a certain age or experience you can think of that you let somebody down that really, like, you feel like maybe kind of created this belief you have?
I don't know an exact age. I just remember like being in school and like school was always really easy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I usually got really good grades. And then, so if I didn't get 100% on a test, or if I didn't do like the best in the class, then it became kind of a joke among like a bunch of the people that I was in school with. They're like, oh, well, didn't you get it? Like, I got better than you did. And so, and like, as a kid, they didn't mean for it to come out that way, but that's kind of how it came across was, wow, you sucked. You didn't get 100%.
Right.
And then just like, if I needed help at home with like homework and stuff, um, it would last for, I could work with my mom for like half an hour before all of a sudden she was frustrated and couldn't help me anymore, or things like that.
Okay. So it kind of meant that you hurt relationships, which would make sense because you have a fear that of being successful means you separate from people. So that makes perfect sense. Have you watched the inner child work bonus module?
Mm-mm.
It's like
No.
10-15 minutes long in between there. It's short. I would recommend that you watch that and then do some inner child work with that school-aged Rickie and give her what she needs and what she wants. And are you familiar with inner child work at all?
I mean, I kind of know like a little bit about it, but not a lot.
Okay. Watch the module. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you. But I think that you'll have, like, once you do some of this inner child work, that you'll be able to really create a safe, like, help Rickie, the child, school-aged Rickie, feel safe, feel she'll get everything that she needed then, so that she doesn't have to show up now. So that as you're on your way to quote unquote success, she's not going to keep coming and rearing her thoughts and her beliefs into your head and keeping you running that pattern. So what we want to create is a pattern interrupt and really heal that piece so that you can move forward, that you feel safe moving forward. Our brain's job is to keep us safe. And as you're doing this work, you're going to be calibrating, you're right here, and then your vibrations will start going higher. Well, what your brain wants to do is bring you back down. But what we want to do is, recalibrate your brain and have your brain come up and meet you where you're at, and then we start again. But it's natural for it to be like this, where we go up and then we meet down. But the good thing is we weren't where we were, right? And then we go up and down. So that's more of the natural pattern of it, as we take, baby steps in the vibrational and recalibrate to that new vibration level. But in the meantime, our brains are like freaking out because it's the unknown. And they're like, we don't like this. We know what it's like to be here. So your brain's going to want to bring you back to be safe. So be aware of that as you're continuing to work and do the work, that your brain's going to, be firing off signals saying, whoa, we're not safe. And you can just reassure your brain, hey, you know what? We're safe here. We're just recalibrating. It's okay. Wouldn't it be nice if we felt and kind of talk your brain down so that it's ready to recalibrate. So when you say you're a strong starter, but not so much a strong finisher, we want you to stop claiming that. Okay, so you can say, I'm a former, I'm trying to think of a good word for it, former non-finisher, but now I'm a finisher. Now I finish what I start. And start claiming that. I finish what I start, because that's your new story. We don't want to live in the old story. That story's done. It's in the past, and that's not who Rickie is anymore. Rickie's the person that steps into her power and finishes what she starts. So with that being said, what kind of accountability do you want?
Well, what kind do I want and what kind do I need is probably something, I don't know, I want to say like maybe something that I can do weekly, because I'm really bad at putting things off, or I have been really bad at putting things off in the past.
Awesome.
And so just something where I can, this is my goal for the week, and then I can just be accountable to that that's what I'm going to finish that week. Okay.
So if I start checking, you do email, right? Not Facebook, if I remember right?
It's much easier for me.
If I start emailing you like every Friday and getting, okay, Rickie, what are you going to work on this week, this coming week? How did you do this last week? And you can kind of report to me on Fridays. How does that sound?
Would be great.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna set an alarm. Do you want me to reach out like morning, afternoon? What time of day is a good time?
If you want to reach out in the morning, I will get back to you by Friday night.
Okay, perfect.
That work?
Yep. And like I said, you can just kind of plan out what you're going to do. If it's a module, if like you're on module 4, so you get to start doing your libs, which is super exciting, so you can just figure out like what you want to do, report what you're going to do, and then what you've done. And we'll just start holding that accountability there.
Okay, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be great. I think that'll, at least for me, when I have that kind of accountability, it keeps a little bit of the fire going.
Yeah.
So awesome. What else do you feel is keeping you from engaging in the program?
and I don't know where this one comes from, but a program that says that they figured it out on their own, so I have to figure it out on my own for some reason, which makes no sense because it is so much easier to do it someone else's way. But that's somewhere there's that program in there that's like, well, they did it, so figure it out.
And when you say they, who are you talking about?
A lot of the programs that I've done, like Allison's done it. I did a bunch of classes with a man named Kirk Duncan.
Oh, yeah.
Just people that have it figured out that I've like gone through the program. They're like, this is what you do. And I'm like, okay, great. But for some reason, I have to do it the hard way.
So, well, I know both Kirk and Allison have mentors of their own, right? So think about that. They haven't really done it on their own. They were working with mentors too. Maybe some of their material is unique to them, but they've consistently been working with a mentor for that accountability and that speed and direction too. So they haven't lone wolfed it. And so that belief, like if you look out there at any successful person, they're going to have a mentor, right? So look at that evidence. Look at, like even the president of the United States has advisors. Did I lose you?
No,
okay, you're frozen on my screen. So
I'm still here. I don't know.
Good. I'm glad I didn't lose you.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just was like, oh, she's frozen. Maybe she can't hear me. So you've got leaders, worldwide leaders, and they all have advisors. So people aren't doing it on their own. They're most successful when they have a team. And so you've got this group, and I know because you're not on Facebook a lot, like you don't engage in the Facebook group, but you can engage through email. Like even if it's not on Friday, but it's just maybe say it's Wednesday and you're bumping up against something, reach out to me. Send an email saying, hey, guess what? I don't really feel like doing this today. Can you give me some words of encouragement? Or, what can I do? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you, hike the mountain with you, help you overcome the bumps, so that you can complete this program and you can get the most out of it. I mean, you've invested quite a bit in yourself, and I know that that's not always the biggest pain point that gets you to do something, but when you're feeling less like you want to do something, remember the investment you made and think, okay, like, am I working this hard? Am I getting my money's worth this month? Or am I just barely showing up? And that can kind of help you gauge, okay, I'm just kind of showing up. What's one thing I can do to show up more? Do you have a Facebook? You do have a Facebook account, right?
Yeah, I do.
Do you ever feel like, and you are part of the group, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever get on there and read people's posts or anything?
I haven't.
Do you feel like that's something you could do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, like, some people have really strong, I just don't do social media. But I think if you were to engage on the group and get to know the women, that you would get this sisterhood and a tribe where you're loved and you're supported, and you can show up as your authentic self. And these ladies are here to love, support, relate to you. I mean, it's amazing to me how they come together in a beautiful sisterhood. And I feel like if you started participating in that and opening up, being a little bit vulnerable, that will help your growth and help you get the most out of this program. Even if it's once a week, you know, start where you're at. You don't need to get on there and post every day or check it every day, but start where you're at. Can I give you an assignment to make a post on the Facebook group? Okay.
Does it matter what kind of post?
Whatever calls to you. Whatever calls to you. If you want help with ideas of what to post, I can give you ideas, or you can just get on there and post whatever you want. So, so yeah, I think that'll be a good start too, to start engaging in the Facebook group, and the Facebook group will help keep you accountable too. You know, the more things we can put in, the more, you know, you're being held accountable, and the more likely you are to stick to it. So, and that's why you hired us. You know, you hired us for the implementation and the accountability. So, so we want you to take advantage of that. How is this feeling?
It's a little bit scary.
Okay.
But I think that just goes back to I need a new definition of like trust. People. So.
Okay. So, is it being vulnerable in the Facebook group that's scary, or just posting at all in the Facebook group?
Kind of both.
Okay.
In the past, I usually am just I'll go through and I'll read, and I think that's really cool, but I don't really engage in it a whole lot. So.
Okay.
It's a little bit scary, but I'll do it.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad that you're willing to step into that unknown and do it. And if you want to start with something less vulnerable, do that. Start where you're at. You don't have to make the deep dive. You can just dip your toes in, make sure you're safe, because you are. We've got you. So it's a very safe space, very safe space. So, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's the same here. What happens in this group stays in this group. And it's beautiful that way. So I think you'll come to find that you really enjoy the friendships and things that you'll develop through this program in the Facebook group. So awesome. What else is coming up for you?
Just something that like Allison talked about in the libs thing, you know, that it has to be perfect in order for it to get done. So I just need to get it done.
Yep, don't get good, get done. So just write them out there, and if you don't feel like you can put them out there on the Facebook group right away, email them to me first, and we can work through the bumps and the tweaks through email. And then when you're finished with them, then we can post them on the group if that's more comfortable to you. But yeah, the libs are really like they're just the meat and potatoes of the program. They're really going to help change these beliefs that you've got running that are limiting, you know, they're limiting you right now. And we want to change those and break through those so that you can start, you know, like how good are you willing to let life get, right? Isn't that exciting, like, to think about that?
Yeah.
And that will come as we do our libs every day, as we, you know, but if you keep holding off on them, nothing
will ever change.
Yeah. So just don't get good, get done. And if you can't think of anything, just send me your limiting belief. You know, if that's all I get, or okay, here's my limiting beliefs in these 6 areas. Now what? I'll coach you through it.
Okay.
So they're really like, they get to be your best friend. But they are a little scary to approach.
Yeah.
So, so you've listened to the module, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Awesome.
Not within it was just barely. So I still have 48 hours, but I did listen to it.
Okay. Awesome. That'll be perfect. Yeah. If you can get them to me before Thursday, or like by Thursday, I should say, because today's Tuesday. So yeah, get them to me by Thursday night so that it's still fresh on your mind and we can start tweaking them and get them running before the Christmas break.
Okay.
So awesome. What else?
Those were my big ones that yeah.
Okay. I only got to read through it really quickly. But you said that you have been more conscientious about the promptings you're receiving. So do you have a specific win around that, like an experience that happened that you want to share, or just in general?
Mostly just in general. But like my dad a while ago wanted to start this business where he makes horse reins out of paracord.
Okay.
And then he never followed through with it. And so like I had him teach me how to do it. And so now like we have some opportunities to go and like get them out there and see if they'll sell, things like that.
Cool. That's awesome. So, way to go. That's exciting. That is exciting. Have you used them yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that. Let me look at your intake form really fast. You've kept your prompting list, so that's awesome. Have you been approaching it with the what's one thing that will get me closer to my goal, or?
Yeah, not all the time. Sometimes I forget, but I try to keep that in mind.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That's great. I love it. So with being in a suffering state, it looks like you're in a suffering state quite a bit still.
Yes, not as much as I was last time we talked because my dreams are not stressful anymore. So
yay! That's awesome. That's a celebration. That's awesome. Did you ever look at the moving from a beautiful state to a suffering state document?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that helpful, or do you feel like you need more with that?
No, I think that's been very helpful.
Okay.
As long as I approach things from a curious standpoint versus being bored, then I do pretty good.
Oh, good. Good. I was going to say that curiosity, that's the way, that's that gateway that's going to really create that new pattern. And again, remember, you're shifting that vibration. So it doesn't have to take forever, but it does take time for your body to recalibrate so that you can adjust to that higher vibration. But I think that's totally awesome that your dreams have calmed down so that at least you can be in a beautiful state while you're sleeping.
Yeah. It's very nice.
And how's the job?
Good.
Good. Yeah. I remind me what you're doing.
So I am working with a veterinarian. She just started her own mobile vet clinic.
Oh, cool.
I'm helping in her office and just helping get things off the ground.
That's awesome. That is way cool. I don't think I knew that. I knew you had a new job, but I don't think I knew it was with a vet. So, is that what you're wanting to go to school for?
Um, kind of. Eventually I want to own a horse ranch and do like youth retreats where they come and work with the horses
Cool.
and learn like positive coping skills and basically all the things that I learn in programs like this that I'm still
Right?
implementing.
Yes.
Um, but so I want to own my own business. And so I just felt like this was a good opportunity to kind of see the
Yeah.
process of getting a business off the ground.
Yeah. That's so great. In the group, her name's Kay Holani. She,
Mm-hmm.
she's doing a program with horses, but she's working with people on groundwork with horses
Mm-hmm.
and teaching people. Anyway, she might be a fun connection once you get in the Facebook group, like just because she has a love for horses herself, and the same thing. And so does Marcel Stegelmeyer in our group. Both two people that I think would be great for you to connect with in the Facebook group that share a love of horses. So that'll be awesome.
Oh,
I myself, I don't wanted to own an equine therapy center. So I still would love to. There's just a lot that goes into it.
yeah.
But I think that's great that you want to work with the youth. I want to work with kids with disabilities. That's where I'm like, the youth would be hard.
Yeah. Well, I remember being, I mean, I'm not that far removed from that, but I remember being a teenager and just, on the outside you look so good and life seems like it's so great, but on the inside you're just lost and life sucks.
Yep. And you're just trying to figure it out. You're like, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want to stand for? This is what I'm being taught, but do I believe what I'm being taught? Like, it is.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to, I don't ever want to relive those years.
I agree.
I think that's why I'm like, oh, I don't want to work with the youth. Nope. Thank you. Give me the young kids or the adults, but don't give me that teenage
Yeah.
span. It's a rough span. So, okay. Do you have fun Christmas plans?
Just spending time with family.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And you're recovering. Have you had COVID, or is it just a cold you've had?
I don't think it was COVID, but it was a little bit more than a cold. So
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't feel like dying anymore. So life is good.
Good. I'm glad. It's no fun being sick. So we'll send prayers and energetic connections your way too.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, I'm good.
Hey,
I'll get libs to you and we'll see how it goes from there.
Great. And you feel like you got what you needed today?
I did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I will for sure hear from you by Thursday, and then I'll follow up on Friday too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Rickie. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Okay, thanks. We'll see ya. Bye.